It's a beautiful morning. I think I'll go outside for a while and just smile. Just taking some clean.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Krebs COH replay competition. I am so excited to be bringing you guys this replay. This is number 3 of 3 replays that we've chosen to show you guys. Now we've gotten plenty of submissions in the last week or so, tons of different skill levels. It's absolutely fun watching everything, and we've sifted through all of it just to bring you the top 3, and by we I mean me, Greatness, and Ryan. I could not have done it without them. They're such handy people. And funnily enough, I'm going to be collaborating this 3rd place replay with Ryan. So say hello, Ryan.
Hi guys, how's it going?
That is Ryan. He is just as excited as I am to be bringing this replay for you guys. Number 1 and 2 is absolutely spectacular, so absolutely cannot wait to bring those out to you guys. Now, this is going to be 3rd place on Angoville, featuring PepsiTrustReloaded, playing as the Americans versus Shaman 79 over on the south side here, playing as the Wehrmacht. Now this is going to be an exciting match. These are highly ranked players, so I am absolutely excited to bring this to all you guys. Now Ryan, are we ready to get this cast on the road?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and we just have this enthusiasm in us right now because I'm telling you guys, these replays are really fun and exciting. Now Ryan, in 3, 2, and 1. Now here we go. I believe Ryan is going to be focusing on Shaman 79 in the south, and I'll be focusing on PepsiTrustReloaded in the north. Now in the north sector we've got PepsiTrust just building his barracks right between these two MGs. Going to be what appears probably going to be a rifleman start. He's going to be, looks like, capping away to the right hand side of Angoville. So if we just switch on over to the tactical map, as you guys can see, this map is quite symmetrical really. You've got your high munitions, high fuel points on the outside edges, and also, so on your left and right side, and you've got a few manpower points and also a few lower points on the side. So we have PepsiTrust just capping away at this manpower point just to connect up any future points that he will have. What is Shaman doing right now?
Well, we're seeing a Volk squad come up. Of course, the south player's more natural side is to the east side, and it's kind of a trend running on here right now where we're seeing more people from the north side go to the east just to try and contest that side so that the south player doesn't have a real easy time and just keeping a hold of it, because there are 2 VPs over there.
I find that a bit funny. Like the east side is, as you said, quite a natural, or the west side actually is quite a natural place for the Wehrmacht or anyone on the south side to actually go for. And I'm quite surprised. Like actually, a lot of players like to go for the east side, grab the strategic point, just make sure it's capped, and make sure that nobody's going to come and cut you off here, because what a lot of people like to do in the beginning is cut you off at this strategic point, and after that, you know, if you have any points connected to that, they will not be connected anymore, so you lose out on those resources. So fair enough right now. We'll see what happens, but it looks like both players are going for the same side. The left side is just completely untouched right now. It is completely neutral, so fair enough. We'll see how the rest of this capping goes.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting point to note is that we actually didn't have a 2 PIO start. We only had the initial PIO out of the Wehrmacht, and as a result, you know, it means that he's lacking a little bit in the way of capping power in comparison to the American.
So he's lacking a bit, but I'm guessing he must have invested a bit more on his Volks Grenadiers. So as I said, he had PepsiTrustReloaded got down that barracks, and he's got 2 riflemen out right now. I believe he's building more. And funnily enough, Shaman actually built some sandbags right along here. So if you guys see that, quite an interesting little strategic thing to do. So if you place down these sandbags, they give you green cover, and wow, pretty good when you're at long range. You got that extra bonuses.
And you're not going to want to cross across that open cover to try and get to the green cover of the Volk squad. They're going to tear you up in the meantime. We got a 2nd MG out from the Wehrmacht player, and he's got another Volks squad. So that was Volks, MG, MG, Volks for a start.
So it actually looks like Shaman's quite setting up this these MGs. So he had that initial plan in his mind that he's gonna put down those sandbags, provide some cover, and that would be the cover that he would use to bring his MG down and put it behind. And he's also set up another MG on the flank, so that any flanking squads, which I'm suspecting that he think will come about, won't have that opportunity to come around this MG that's near the sandbags. So quite interesting stuff
No, we're
right now.
about to see that first flank actually get stopped here by that MG.
And there we go. So Pepsi was actually thinking, okay, there's an MG up in the front. What I'm gonna do is try and come around it, flank it, and take it out. But funnily enough, that was actually countered because there's another MG already set up waiting for that flank to come about. So this comes from experience, guys. I mean, if you know, like, you know, from your past games, you set up an MG and you think, oh right, this is going to do absolutely fine, but then you get outflanked and, you know, you lose that MG. So you learn from experience. That's why Shaman is putting down that extra MG on the flank, just to keep his units alive. Always supporting
the other thing, during that MG battle there, one of the things that you'll notice is that the MG actually switched targets on a couple of occasions to keep the incoming rifle squads from different angles from remaining unsuppressed. And the way that you do that is by waiting for the MG to stop firing, and then you click on your next target. If you do it while it's firing, it will actually pack the gun up and then repack it, and you waste a lot of time, and in a flank like that you don't have any to afford.
See, I've always find that a bit funny. Like, I actually thought that might be something glitch related, but fair enough. If that's what you gotta do, you gotta wait until the MG stops shooting, then you retarget. Otherwise, it'll just pack up. Now, we have 3 riflemen now, and we have the bars upgraded for them, so that would provide a lot of anti-infantry ability, especially in the beginning. So considering that there's so much infantry on the field, all these riflemen and engineers, this sets up a very big possibility for flanks. As you guys can see, the riflemen are separating themselves out. So we've got riflemen in the north, the middle, beside the house, and we've also got another flanking squad here. I'm guessing these guys want to try and go in for a flank, but we have 2 MGs from Shaman just providing so much hassling support, just making sure that their backs are covered, and that's the exact point of the MGs. While they can I suppose they can tear up guys quite well, their main point is that they suppress guys, and as you can see, these riflemen having an absolute very hard time doing anything when they're crawling on the ground.
No, and if you notice, that rifle squad there, it actually wasn't really trying to flank the MG, it's actually trying to go for this cutoff. One of the things that Shaman did was he left that original MG at the cutoff, and that is a 3rd MG that's up near that victory point that he built specifically for moving up into that area.
So 3 MGs on the field, that's quite smart of him. So he was actually expecting, in the earlier engagement, he was expecting that there would be a flanking squad, and also to prevent that point from being cut off. So fair enough, if that's what he wants to do, then that's what will happen. But the Axis right now, the Wehrmacht, are not capping away at the left-hand side at all. It seems like they're quite content on the right-hand side, playing quite defensively, and fair enough. I think Shaman is actually, yes, he has gone for defensive doctrine. So he has down this medic bunker over here, providing a lot of sort of a, not a retreat point, but more of a reinforced point. So if he brings back his guys here, he can at least replenish them, and that's good. For an infantry heavy strategy, why not?
Yeah, and again, I think he kind of has Pepsi a little confused at this point, because it seems like everywhere Pepsi goes, there's an MG, and he probably, you know, most of the time you don't see that type of play out of a Wehrmacht player. You'll see, you know, an MG here, and it packs up and moves over and tries to stop you in some other place. Here you've got 3 MGs covering key points and key flanking spots.
So yeah, he doesn't. This would actually be confusing me as well. Like, what would I do? I mean, you want to set up flanks and everything, but if you don't have that opportunity to actually do so, like, you know, actually get around the MGs, and that puts you in quite a tough position. If you were in such a position right now, I think what would be really good is to possibly back tech to WSC and go for mortars or sniper. Sniper would be good at taking some direct shots on the heavy machine guns, but likewise mortar, you could get some explosive shells or even a smoke screen. A smoke screen would do absolutely fine as well. But I'd just like to also mention that the left-hand side is just completely untouched, so this is totally for Pepsi Trust Reloaded. No aggression whatsoever on the left-hand side, and it seems like the only fighting is occurring on the right-hand side right now. So I think there's actually a reason for that. Now, it's because if we look at the tactical map, or just the map in general, there's two VPs on this side of the map. Now, Ryan, I want you to actually explain it. Well, why do you think Shaman is so content on this one side?
Well, I think you get two things. You obviously have the base operations with the bunker on the east side, and the fact that it's a med bunker. You know, one of the things that he's going to try to do is he's going to try and feed that med bunker, and so by consistently fighting on that side, he's looking to get some free grenadiers. The other part of that, obviously, is with a very heavy MG play like this, you're going to see you know, a little more defensive style. It's not going to be as mobile. It's not going to move as much. I think a single Pioneer squad could probably help him out with that. But he's going to want to work around that base of operations that he has just to try and keep a foothold somewhere.
Yeah, I think like the whole, like, you know, as you're saying, the medic bunker thing is pretty cool. But like I was just about to mention, when it comes to the victory points on this map, there's actually 2 victory points on the right-hand side. Now, when we're talking about points, obviously you want to have a majority of the points so that you bleed your opponent dry, and I think that's what he's really trying to do, especially with like all these MGs, just covering each other, just making sure that the VPs are theirs, and maybe he's just trying to win this in a long sort of battle. Also on the right hand side of the map, it's a lot more closed, a lot more narrow, so it's more friendly towards MGs. There's a lot more funneling that goes on.
Right, and you're also seeing the other counter to kind of a heavy MG tier 1 strat, and that's instead of, you know, going for WSC and bringing a mortar out and doing those kinds of things, he actually went grenades, which, you know, is a balance. It's a little more fuel, it's going to delay his teching a little longer, but it does definitely have an impact because the American rifleman grenades are just nuclear pineapples.
Oh, they're so good at taking out the MGs as well. I mean, like, if you saw some of those grenades killing a few of those MGs. Now, we have a supply yard down from the Americans, and he actually upgraded it once, I believe, just so that he could get that extra, or take away some of that upkeep that he has. And I also believe...
And a Goliath?
Oh, we have a Goliath on the field. How strange is that? Unfortunately, it was kind of revealed, and the American obviously realizing that, takes out the frickin' tractor.
That's such a shame too, but he does hit a mine coming around for that cutoff point again. You know, he's continuously kind of traveling over to that cutoff, which again is not a bad way to do it, but you're going to have an answer for the MG that's been sitting there the entire game, and that's going to take a pretty decent flank. One of the ways that you could do that is by you know, putting something into the house to draw the MG fire and running riflemen up the hedgerow past the med bunker and coming around the north side of that MG.
You could also do that. There's I suppose there's a few ways to do it. Yeah, like you said, brute forcing it basically and try to lure it. But when it